And it's so great to have you with us. And we've got a special guest that is June Rachelson Ospa, and she is going to be joining us momentarily. Hello there, June.
Hi.
I'm so happy that's a little teaser, a little preview. I'm so happy that she is here. We're going to have her in just a minute. I am your host, Jim Masters. It's so great to have you here. We welcome you, everybody. It is Tuesday, and we are live on Jim Masters Live, and we have got a fantastic show. June is an award-winning playwright, and she's a lyricist, and she's a writer, and she's an author, and she's a dear friend of mine as well. We've worked on a lot of projects together in New York and elsewhere, and she's somebody who's very compassionate, and she understands the human condition, very loving friend, and she's very creative as well. She used to work for Gray Advertising, and she used to do a lot of commercial advertising and more. And for many years now, she's been writing plays, she's been writing lyrics, authoring books, and all kinds of cool things. She's always dreaming up spectacular new things for all of us to enjoy. And again, she and I have partnered up on lots of different projects over the years. So it's my pleasure to welcome our very second guest in this ongoing series, week number 2, here on Jim Masters Live, streaming worldwide at Jim Masters TV on Facebook and also on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. Wherever you are, thanks for joining us. I tell you, the love and support and comments and all the feedback has been extraordinary. Everybody's sharing the links to the live show and series, but also everybody is sort of promoting it, and everybody is doing watch parties. You know, you can do a watch party too. When I post the links on Facebook and also share it on YouTube, you can have a watch party where you have all kinds of folks that are on board watching right now and supporting just by watching. That's right. And it's really cool when we get a chance to have such feedback. There's so many great comments from the audience, because the comments have been absolutely incredible. Again, I do this for a living. I'm a television radio host, and to have the opportunity to do this and create this here for you on social media has been a true joy and blessing. So many of you have wanted me to do this for years. You've asked me to do it ever since I signed on to Facebook, and they made the availability happen. And I tell you, we've been working with the team at Facebook as well and YouTube, and very supportive and just so excited. We have great guests throughout the week. Last night, I had good friend, acting coach, and producer and director and casting director and actor and composer, Reno Venturi, and so many people responded to that show and loved that show. We had so much fun, and it was a great interview. He's another dear friend. We have been friends for years as well. It was a real pleasure to have him here tonight. June Rachelson Ospa is my guest, and again, she's an amazing playwright, lyricist, writer, author. Tomorrow night, Dan Goggin, award-winning producer and director, known for that amazing Broadway hit Nonsense that just took the globe by storm, has been performed in so many different on stages all over the world, became a television show as well. He's so excited. He's going to be with me exclusively tomorrow night. He is a real hoot. He is so funny, and that performance of Nonsense is excruciatingly funny as well. And on Thursday night, my dear friend Rain Pryor Vane is going to be with me as well. She is extraordinarily funny as well. She is a writer, a producer. She's an actress. She's a singer. She is a daughter of the legendary comedian Richard Pryor. She's going to be with us on Thursday night as well. And then we've got some fun and special shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. So wherever you're watching around the world, I am your host, Jim Masters. We come to you live 7 p.m. every night. Last Sunday, we did a special Mother's Day brunch episode at 10 a.m. So many of you watched that as well, and we thank you for that. 7 p.m. nightly, Eastern, and 4 p.m. Pacific. Now, of course, as always, and you're the ones who voted for this, we had a whole nostalgic week last week. If you remember, if you're just joining us for the first time, because a lot of new people are joining us, we did a whole nostalgic week where I whipped out all these childhood toys, Matchbox cars and kaleidoscopes, Twister and Connect 4. And so many of you shared what toys you remember from childhood. So some of the nostalgia played over to the next night, where we talked about some of our favorite TV shows and movies and more. And I brought out, who is now officially my Ed McMahon in a way, my sidekick, but only this is George Burns. And this is really cool. Again, as I mentioned, or if you're just joining us for the first time, we welcome you. We hope you join us each night at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is an actual authentic replica of George Burns. It's the authentic replica doll that came out when George turned 100 years old. And he's got the cigar and he's got the glasses. The glasses actually come off as well. It's got the certificate, all the authenticity there. But he was voted by so many of you to be my sidekick. I had him for one night. I said, hey, look at this. We were talking about nostalgic things, and you guys said, keep George. We love George. So there you go, folks. There is your George Burns. He says hello. He's, again, sort of my sidekick here on Jim Masters Live. I love it. I love that you guys were the ones who decided to have George on with me here and keep George on. And then, of course, we had to have Jeannie, right? Barbara Eden, another favorite show. This is, again, the authentic replica, hand-painted, of the I Dream of Jeannie bottle. It weighs a ton. A dear friend knew I loved the show, and I received this as a birthday gift a few years back, and you can see Jeannie in there, right? Can't you see her blinking? This is really, really cool. All right, Jeannie, we're about to start the show. Are you good? You ready? Okay, she's not feeling it. I guess she says she doesn't like the way her hair is coming out. We had that same problem with her on Sunday. I don't know. I know all the hair salons are closed, so it's kind of hard. Well, it looks like you're doing it yourself. Well, when you're ready, just let us know. Just knock. I'll put the cap on again. Just knock and we'll have you come out. All right. She's amazing. And she also was voted to stay on the show as well. So we've got Jeannie, we've got George. You two, nothing funny. Just stay there. When I call upon you, smile. As always, we do our official cheer and toast. If you have your beverage of choice, whatever it is, could be water, tea, coffee, lemonade, iced tea, wine, beer, some other cool libations, maybe martini. In the evening, we toast to you and you and you and you and you and you. We thank you very much for joining us here live on our second week of Jim Masters Live. It's been really fantastic. And again, I really, really deeply appreciate all of the support, all the love, and so many viewers. And just keep spreading the word. Have watch parties. Share the links on Jim Masters TV, YouTube. Subscribe to Jim Masters TV or like the page. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post not just Jim Masters Live content there, but I have a whole host of other videos and content that I'm posting at YouTube as well. Tonight, we have a little light Zinfandel, just something a little light for the evening. Last night, we had some amaretto. A couple of nights ago, we had Pinot Grigio. Then we had Chalk Top beer, all kinds of cool things. So I toast to you. Raise your glass. And it's good we're here. Everybody hopefully healthy. And it's a blessing that we're all here together. Very nice. George, do not sip any of that because I have a measuring line there. George may sip some of that. And of course, you know, we always start the show. We like to have fun. You got to have fun in life. You can't always be so serious. With a little lights, camera, and action. I really love this thing. Picked it up a few years ago. And again, June will be joining me in just a moment, live and direct from New York City, our fabulous friend. But today is a very special day for birthdays for folks who are in the entertainment world and so much more. So I want to show you some cool people whose birthdays it is. We're going to start with this fine gentleman right here, George Carlin's birthday today. American Grammy-winning comedian. He hosted the first episode of Saturday Night Live in 1975. His albums, Class Clown, 1972, which contained the classic 7 words you can never say on television. That's right. He was arrested for performing in Milwaukee. Did you know that? He was born May 12th, 1937, and he passed away in 2008. And he is, of course, sadly missed. He was so funny, and his commentary and his take on life. Could you imagine with the pandemic and everything happening, what he would be saying today, what his observations about all the craziness of it all would be today? I could only imagine what he would be saying. Another legend is Burt Bacharach, of course, born May 12th, 1928, an American Oscar-winning composer. Some of his music, Magic Moments, 1958, What's New, Pussycat, of course, which Tom Jones made popular in 65. Do You Know the Way to San Jose? Dionne Warwick. In 68, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, which got an Oscar and a Grammy in 1969. Close to You in 70. Arthur's Theme in 1981. He got an Oscar for that. And of course, the late Dudley Moore and Liza Minnelli starred in that. And that was really, really a very cool movie. I love that movie. I don't know if you ever saw it. If not, get it on YouTube or some other location, because it's really a funny movie. And again, we really miss Dudley Moore. He was so fun. He was just a really cool guy and just really funny. And again, we've got so many people whose birthdays are today. Here's some more folks that you might remember. Who remembers Kim Fields? Kim Fields, yes. She was Tootie on The Facts of Life on NBC, born May 12th, 1969. That's right. You can get your calculators out if you like. And there she is today, Kim Fields, again, American TV actress, another legend in television acting, celebrating her birthday today. And now let's move over to the sports world. And who is that? Anybody recognize that New York Yankee? Yogi Berra. Remember, he said, he had so many incredible quotes. He was born Lawrence Peter Berra on May 12th, 1925. And he passed away, unfortunately, in 2015. And one of my favorite quotes by Yogi Berra was when he said, when you see a fork in the road, take it. American Baseball Hall of Famer MVP, 1951, 54 through 55. His famous quotes include, "It ain't over till it's over." That's right. If you ever wondered who came up with that, Yogi Berra did. Also, "A nickel ain't worth a dime anymore. Always go to the other people's funerals, otherwise they won't go to yours." And if the people don't want to come to the park, nobody's going to stop them. Just some of the incredible quotes from our friend Yogi Berra. And of course, he was really a class act through and through, and a true absolute legend. Another legend, originally born in Hartford, Connecticut, who lived her life for a while, a little bit in California there, but made her home in the Fenwick section of Old Saybrook, Connecticut. Her home is still there. It was recently sold a few years back. And of course, who are we talking about if you're very familiar with the incredible Katharine Hepburn? Katharine Hepburn's birthday. A lot of famous people's birthday fall on May 12th. Born May 12th, 1907 in Hartford, Connecticut. She passed away in 2003, American Oscar-winning actress. Of course, some of the movies, Morning Glory in 1933, she got the Oscar. Bringing Up Baby, 1938. The African Queen, of course, with Humphrey Bogart in 1951. And a movie I always loved. And of course, that was On Golden Pond. That was another wonderful movie. And that was with the Fondas. That's right, Jane and Henry. And that was really a wonderful movie as well. She teamed, of course, with Spencer Tracy on so many films. One of my favorites was Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, the 1969 movie with Sidney Poitier. That really, every once in a while, we pull that out of the vault and we watch that. Such a great statement there. Such a beautiful film. The music, the cinematography, just the way it's shot, the storyline. Really, a brilliant movie. She is the only person to have won 4 Oscars. We're talking about the absolutely incredible Katharine Hepburn. Again, today is her birthday. Somebody else who always said, it's impossible. Do we know who we're talking about here? The singer? It's also Perry Como's birthday. Perry Como, who made his home in Sands Point, Long Island, New York. He was born in 1912, Perry Como, and he passed away on May 12th, 2001. American singer, Emmy-winning television personality. Of course, you may remember his many wonderful Christmas specials as well. So many fantastic Christmas specials. He was known, his music still played all over the radio on a lot of the MOR and standards stations. Some of the songs, It's Impossible, which was a real hit in 1970. And of course, Don't Let the Stars Get in Your Eyes, 1952. That went to number 1. We are saluting today on Jim Masters Live, the wonderful Perry Como. Again, another favorite of so many people and of me as well. Again, would you believe there are more phenomenal birthdays today? People that have always been beloved by so many. And here we go. You'll recognize this place or this person and this face, Robert Reed. That's right. Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch. He was born in 1932 and he passed away May 12th, 1992. I know that's so hard to believe. He was beloved as the dad, Mike Brady, on the Brady Bunch, and American television actor. He's also in so many other things beyond the Brady Bunch, but he was the dad, Mike Brady, from 1969 through 74 when the series ran. He was also Lieutenant Adam Tobias in Mannix from 69 to 75. He was in The Defenders from 61 to 65 as Kenneth Preston. He was in Rich Man, Poor Man as well. And that was in 76. He played Teddy Boylan. He was also in Roots in 1977, that groundbreaking miniseries by Alex Haley. And that was on ABC in 77. He was Dr. William Reynolds. He was an incredible actor. And again, most known for his role on The Brady Bunch. There they are. That's right. I don't know if you watched HGTV's recent Brady renovation, where they renovated the entire Brady house. A good friend, Lauren, very involved in that project at HGTV, and it came out fantastic. Really, I got a chance to actually go to the house and see it. Maybe I'll show some pictures of that. I got a chance last year to see the Brady Bunch house and also the house that was used in the TV series Family with Christy McNichol and Seda Thompson and James Broderick, Meredith Baxter Burney, Gary Frank. Beautiful house that really exists in Pasadena. And of course, again, another beautiful shot we all love with Florence Henderson and Robert Reed. Again, this is Robert Reed's birthday today, and we pay our wonderful honors to Robert Reed. He was absolutely fantastic, a great actor. Matter of fact, I was lucky. I didn't meet Robert, but I did meet Florence Henderson. I got a chance not that long ago, just before her passing, unfortunately, to be introduced to her at a gala, and it was absolutely amazing. We talked for a long time. This picture, you wouldn't believe it, she's actually sitting on my lap. She was a hoot, and I told her how much I admired her and always followed her, and she was somebody who always wrote to everybody, and she was absolutely a dear. She's sitting on my a professional photographer took this shot. She was sitting on my lap, and I was holding her up, and it was at a big event. And I said to her, "Oh my God, I'm never going to wash these pants again. This leg, I'll never." And she turned around. She goes, "Jim, I bet you won't." She was amazing. Again, we talked for the rest of the night. It was really terrific. It was really amazing because I was introduced to her by some dear friends, and she was on the other side of the room with all these people. And all of a sudden, I walked in, and she parts the sea, comes straight to me. We get introduced, and the rest was history. She was really, really a gem of a person. Absolutely love Florence Henderson. And again, she is dearly missed as well. She was a wonderful, wonderful actress and an even nicer person in person. Really, really beautiful, beautiful person. And so is my dear friend, June Rachelson Ospa, who is our special guest right now here live on Jim Masters Live in week number 2. June and I have known each other for several years, both creative people. We're always texting each other, always Facebooking, always making each other laugh. We've gone out to dinner with our families. We've done we've done little trips to Connecticut and all kinds of fun things together with her sons and her husband. And we've just done some wonderful things together. And her husband is a, lead designer for Macy's, of the Thanksgiving Day Parade, the flower show, the phenomenal 4th of July fireworks, and so much more. She is a wonderful person. And again, we've gone to lots of shows together in New York, lots of plays together as well. This was Sheer Madness, which was a fantastic event. We've gone to dinner, we've had coffee. She really is a very special person to me. So I'm excited to welcome her to the show, and I want to bring her up here and add her to this wonderful broadcast. There she is.
Hello.
Here is my friend.
Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
So you can hear me?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Okay. Executive producer and host right here. So, June, how are you, June Rachelson Ospa?
I'm good.
How are you surviving, the pandemic and everything that's going on? You're right there in the heart of Manhattan, the bullseye. How's it been going? Tell us.
It's been strange. I've been home since March 12th. I've only gone outside twice. It's just very nutty here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm doing a lot of work at home, which is being a writer.
That's what I was just about to say. I imagine that you've probably been using this time to write and rewrite and create, because I know I've been doing that too, because some of the television shoots I would normally be doing for the networks or for shows that I host, the lifestyle travel show, or with public television or close-up television or anywhere else, even freelance projects. A lot of them haven't been happening because the studios are closed, people are working from home, there's no flights going on. So I'm doing the radio shows for close-up radio from the home studio, and of course this here on Jim Masters Live. But certainly things have changed, haven't they? So you're using this time to be ultra creative.
Yes, and having Zoom meetings and stuff like that, and writing with people overseas, because we can do that now.
Right. Now, how many closets have you and Jerry reorganized? Everybody's reorganizing closets and
closets. We have piles of things to get rid of in the corners,
Well, the nostalgic section that you have in the house. I just want to let the audience know, Jim Masters, welcome to Jim Masters Live. The special guest you're seeing, there's a dear friend that I put, June, at the top of my introduction of you as dear friend, followed by playwright, lyricist, book writer, producer, copywriter. You've partnered up with Danielle Needham and Bozeman Productions. You spent over 10 years in advertising and gray advertising, Ogilvy and Mather, McCaffrey, Paul Lander and Associates. And your clients included Kenner Toys, McDonald's, Burger King, Exxon Arts, and more. You create campaigns, headlines, copy, shows. You are named for 4 years for Lander. They're welcome to Touretteville, about Tourette syndrome, which I know is near and dear to your heart as well. Kennedy Center's very special arts playwright discovery award, and performed for Congress and the Kennedy Center in DC. And I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of accolades you have here. Tell us about your background. How did you first get into this wonderful work of creativity, the arts, writing, producing? Did you come from a creative family?
Well, let's put it, my father was a businessman. My mother she didn't raise me, but she was an artist. And so I was always drawing, and I was going to be an illustrator. And then I got into an ad agency, and I was not liking paste-ups and mechanicals. I said, this is not illustration. So I walked in and I said, somebody's retiring. I said, can I take a crack at it? And I was only in my early 20s. And they said, yeah. And that started it. That's how I popped into Gray and, Ogilvy and all those other agencies. It's very much like the show Mad Men.
Yes.
Being a young 20-year-old in an ad agency and being a female was crazy. Yeah. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And it taught me how to write fast.
Yes.
And how to write to topic. That was the best training I ever got.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can say one of the biggest highlights of my life is that I met a man named Doc Thomas, and he wrote all these songs. Save the Last Dance for Me. You Can't Get Used to Losing You. Why Must I Be a Teenager in Love? On and on and on.
Incredible song.
And I met him when he was playing. He had a card game going because it was like those years when things had changed. And then, but the thing about him, he has a wonderful documentary called AKA Doc Thomas that his daughter produced. He always said he was born with polio, and he was on crutches. That's why he wrote "Save the Last Dance for Me."
Oh,
the night of his wedding, he couldn't dance with his wife.
right.
And this magic moment was written about his daughter when she was born, Sharon. But he used to say, never give up.
Right.
He said, you can turn the corner and your life can change on a dime. And that's how he lived his life. I mean, John Lennon went to a luncheon just to sit next to Doc.
Yeah.
And I ran his legendary songwriting workshop for 10 years until he passed away. I got to have dinner with him every Tuesday and Friday night. That was some mentor to have as a songwriter.
That's a blessing, huh? True inspiration. So then you took that inspiration and you ran with it, right?
Yes,
you then
I did.
Your career and your interest. You got into the world of advertising as well. Tell us about some of the transition as your career developed through the years, June.
Well, basically what got me out of advertising was meeting my husband 36 years ago.
Jerry.
Yeah, he was bartending and he was also a potter. And we got married, and I was unemployed at the time because in ad agencies, you lose your job a lot. Like the client goes and suddenly you're out. So when I decided to have a child, my first son, Jake, I said, I can't go back to advertising. I spent my whole Long Beach was running around like a maniac. I want to be a house mom and work from home, which is what I did.
Yeah.
And it was a big change, but it was so interesting to get into the songwriting aspect. I figured, how can I keep this going? And I decided to write songs.
And what was the first songs? What was the style that you chose in terms of the first few songs that you wrote? What spoke to you first?
Well, I was working with Alison Brewster at the songwriting workshop, and I was working with a guy named Phil Goodbody, who was one of the first blind composers in jingle writers. So we used to write everything. We used to write country. We used to write pop. It was like it didn't matter what it was. And then one day I said to him, let's write a musical. And we did. We wrote something called Swat, which was Sealed with a Kiss about a frog kissing princesses, turning them into frogs till we met the right princess. That was my first musical.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, and it's been on. And
it's been on. Yeah. Your career has been decades. You've never given up. That's one thing that I know about you. You remind me of myself in many ways, and Reno last night, and some of the other ones that are coming up and interviews this week. No matter what life throws at you, you're always ready to catch it and sort of, even if you have to morph it, if you have to be pivoting, and which everybody's doing right now with what's going on in the world. You have to morph and pivot and be flexible and adaptable and change and absorb. But you've always been able to do that, and you just don't give up. You keep trudging forward, no matter what it is. Even if somebody shoots it down or says no, or if a door slams, you find ways to get around in and penetrate.
You have to.
Where does that come from?
A lot of that came from Doc. Him saying never give up.
Yeah.
And that really got into me. I mean, here's a guy that couldn't get out of his wheelchair.
Right.
And he was part of the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And using him as my model, saying it doesn't matter what life throws me,
Mhm. Exactly right. Exactly. So,
And then meeting people to collaborate with is always a great thing.
mhm.
So I worked with, Phil for 15 years and he passed away in 98. And then I met Daniel. And I've been working on and off with Allison for all these years.
Yes, right.
And the thing that you went to see, Rocking the Planet,
Mm-hmm. Which
Epi Castro. Yeah.
Torettoville, and also the Hotel Belclair is another one that's near and dear to your heart. Tell us about that.
Well, my friend Carol, she left her husband about after 40 years of marriage. And we met through another friend and we went to the Hotel Belclair and I started to hang out there with her. And one day, this woman calls me up, this woman Kezia, through another person, says, "Do you want to write a musical together?" I said, "Sure." And I started telling her a little bit about this short story called The Physical that was in the piece that I wrote. It was just a short story. She said, "That would be great." I said, "Oh, well, let's get a bunch of composers and women." She says, "No, you can do this. You're on your own with me." And I did. And I based it on Carol. And I wrote Me as Marilyn, and my friend Sandra Nordgren, she worked at 13th Street Rep. She ran 13th Street Rep, and I made her the other character. So I wrote this story about the hotel, and we premiered it at 13th Street Rep, and then it went up at the Outcast Theater,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a blast.
Yeah.
And Carol came in for it.
Mm.
She came into town. You can actually find the whole show on YouTube. Hotel Belclair, the musical.
Now, what that must have been, for you personally, that must have been a dream come true because I know you've been working on that for so long.
Yes.
To see it actually come to
Yes.
fruition must have been really, really moving for you personally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, so there's, so many things that, as a writer in New York, I haven't done Broadway yet, but I've written here and gone to Texas, not gone to Texas, well, gone to Texas was one of them, but the Rockin' the Planet, we were in Texas last year, Peppy and I doing this musical with Steve Lieber, and we won a Texas Globe Award at the Roxy Theater, Jonathan Pennington's Roxy Theater, and it was all kids.
Yeah.
All kids. And it was amazing and wonderful.
And I remember we went to the Writers' Colony over at by the Goodspeed Opera House in Connecticut, and our dear friend Peppy, if he's watching, Peppy was there, and Steve Lieber was there, all these great people, and that was really terrific. Explain what that's all about for folks who are watching the Writers' Colony. I mean, we actually went there. We spent a couple of days there. You're actually sort of performing and bouncing off other writers and artists' ideas about these potential plays and productions, and everybody puts in their little suggestions and feedback. It really is a very exhilarating experience.
Yeah. Well, we all had our own like triplexes.
Yeah, we had our little,
and we were there for a week. And Peppy and I had this 3-floor thing, and he brought a studio, and everybody spent time working on the musical, and then we would present it, and it was so much fun to be able to do that and to get feedback. Jonathan Brielle has been running it, and believe it or not, they are now running the salon, Johnny Mercer Salon, virtually. And I was able to present a song last week that I'm doing with this guy in London, Anthony Merriweather.
Oh, that's awesome. It's amazing.
So,
virtual,
it's pretty wild.
And did you do it from your own comfort?
He was in London and I was here. So.
You were there in New York City. What are some of the things that you're working on right now, June, for people to look forward to while we have this time? You've got a lot of things. You've always had a lot of balls up in the air.
Well, the big one is a Bollywood and Vine, which is based on Edward Jordan's film called Bollywood and Vine. It's a cult movie, and it was picked up by Broadway Bound. but it's now moved to I think February. He said.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but it's very exciting. He actually sent me. I can read it. He sent me a little synopsis, short synopsis.
Yeah.
If we have time, I can read it.
Right.
Put it up on my email.
If you can, just lean a little bit more to the right, because half of your face is there. You are. Now we see the entire June.
I had to do this.
You were the one-eyed bandit before. Now that's beautiful June. Now everybody sees
I
you.
kept trying to shift around and find out,
Oh, it's crazy.
Okay, so this is what he wrote me. Delilah Lee, a former B-movie scream queen, and her gay son Devin compete for the attentions of a handsome filmmaker from India. Delilah, for her, it's her last shot at stardom. Devin is his first shot at love. And wow. I wrote all the lyrics, and Edward and I went where he was staying. He used to be in Florida, and I went there and stayed at his house, and we worked on it, and then we gave the lyrics and the book to Daniel, and Daniel wrote all the music. And it's been through a lot. We had Heather McRae at one point doing a reading with us at Theater Row, and we had Kathleen Turner involved for a while.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner, absolutely.
Yeah. But the new this is the brand new version is going to come in February and will be at Theater Row Theater.
Oh, terrific!
Yeah, and it'll be like a new cast, and the story's been a little rewritten for the times because we started it quite a long time ago, where gay partners were not allowed to get married, but they are now. So
yeah,
things have changed a little.
Sure, yeah.
But be on the lookout for in February of 2021.
But
and
you're working on other things too, right? You got a lot of things going.
Well, we did a show called The Confessions of Davy Crockett that was at the Cell Theater. We did a reading of it with Bart Chateau from Broadway. And then it was done right before the pandemic. It was done in San Antonio because of these two guys, Steve Warren and Tom Macenter. I've been working with them for years. We did Gone to Texas years ago. It's how I started hanging out in San Antonio. And they just did they did a fully staged version in San Antonio at the Josephine Theater. So that ran, and we're trying, like, when things get better, we want to have it out there again.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely.
And actually, the thing from London is called The Truth Stops Here, which is a very interesting piece because it's about Bethnal Green and a big accident that happened in the tubes where people used to hide during the war.
Yeah.
And the government tried to 178 people fell to their death down the subway stairs because they were running for shelter.
Yeah.
The government tries to cover it up, just like what's going on today. So it's a very, very interesting true story.
There's something else that I know is near and dear to your heart as well, and that is something called Weedle. Tell us about Weedle.
Okay.
You don't have anything there from Weedle where you could show. Is there anything in the room there where you could, or Jerry could grab, just so you can maybe hold up some pictures to the camera?
Actually, no, they're online. But we're working on the. It's a musical that's been done many, many times. I was in a thing, it was called Est in the old days, and a woman stood up, and she was an African American woman. And she said, if I cut my arm open, this was in the 70s, my blood is the same color as yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so moved by that when I went home, I wrote this story about a little boy with no color at all, none. And everybody else was colorful.
Yeah. Right.
And he gets this letter from this three-headed character who says, I have the solution for you. Come see me. His name was Marvello Maxima Margic with 3 heads. On his way, he meets a gate who says, which side do you want to be on? You want to be angry or forgiving?
Right.
He keeps going. And then he meets a caterpillar who says, all the colors are not out there, they're inside.
Mm-hmm.
know that. I know
Mhm.
that. He goes to this guy, and what happens is he gives him a colorless paint.
Mm.
And then he falls and he has this dream that he paints out everything with this colorless paint. And then he gets to his parents and he paints them out and he wakes up and he says, "Oh my God." And he runs back home. He gets to his parents and he sees Katie on the way, who's now a beautiful butterfly. And she says, "Rita, the colors are inside."
Wow.
And when he gets home, he hugs his parents and he starts to cry.
Mm.
And his eyes are filled with tears, but all colorful.
Mm.
So it's all metaphor,
Yeah.
and it's been done for children on and on. I did it for kids with Asperger's, and all so related to it. To me, it's basically saying we are all the same. We all have everything inside of us to share. And now I have an illustrator that did all these wonderful illustrations, and we're putting the book together. We're going to put it on Kindle. And the songs are beautiful. Alison Brewster, Franzetti wrote them.
You know, that's one thing I know about you. And again, we're kindred spirits in this respect in so many different ways, June. You like to do things that have such a positive impact on the lives of others. I do with my work in television, radio. I hope I'm doing that with the series of shows on Jim
Yes,
Masters Live. Uh, you like to do things that have a message, that
yes,
people are left with something where they can maybe act, they can respond, maybe they can be a better person, maybe they can love one another and appreciate one another more,
yes,
and to realize that each one of us may have our differences ethnically, culturally, gender, religion, politics, whatever it is, but
yes.
we all bleed red and we all need love and kindness and empathy. And I know you weave lots of that into your work, right?
Well, the first time it really got, when I met Daniel, he's also a cantor. And when we worked on Torettaville, the whole thing about Torettaville was also about not being accepted because you're different. You have
Hmm.
Tourette's and you have exercise. And there's the big bleeper. And my other son, who's an animator, did a cartoon on it. And Dr. John from New Orleans was the character. And the song we wrote was called One of a Kind You. And it's online. And the funny thing about it is that when we went to the studio, we went to M&I Studio. Mitch and I were yes men. We love that studio. And we love them. And basically, Dr. John says to Daniel, "I don't do no ballads. Can I do it my way?" And he did, with the drums and everything. And it's just amazing. And the cartoon was never finished, but you could see a lot of it and hear that wonderful song, One of a Kind You, again, which is about being kind to each other.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's where it all started. That's where that whole thing started. We wanted to do good things in the world.
When you look at your career and the experiences that you've had, Joan, and you and I have had, many late night conversations over coffee and
Mhm.
desserts and things of that nature. What are some of the things that you're most proud of, in addition to your husband and your children, in terms of your career? What are some of the things that really events, accolades, things that have happened in your life that really stand out as cherished memories for you?
Well, actually, a wonderful thing that happened. I don't know if you've ever heard of a man named William Hortzberg, who's a writer. He wrote Legend and he wrote Falling Angel, Angel Heart. And I met him through Doc, and then we kept up with each other. And he had written a new book, and he was doing a book signing. So I said, "Why don't I get the place for it?" And I got in touch with Eric Krebs from the Playroom Theater, and Eric was amazing. Eric says, "It's yours. Come do it here." He said, "Here's the key. Give it back to me." And we had this reading, and we had so many people come. And I'm so thrilled that we did it because William passed away a couple of years ago, and I had the opportunity to actually spend time with this amazing writer. And I mean, because I like to make things happen, because I like to reach out and help, that's how I got to meet him. It's like, that's what we do. It's like, I think that there's two kinds of people in the world, and I know you're this kind. There's a why and a why not. The ones who say why not will go to many lengths to make something happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I can give you a little preview of one of those things.
Yeah.
Mike Reese, who's been writing for The Simpsons for 30 years.
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons, yes. Mike. And he says to me, I turned this, he has a film called How Murray Saved Christmas, Emmy nominated on NBC, so on and so forth. He turned it into a panto. And he calls me and he says, do you know how to get this done? I said, yeah. So I got in touch with director Gabe Barry. He fell in love with it. I got in touch with Jane Kjaer. She fell in love with it. She's the producer, Hello Dolly, and all these other things. And when I've been trying to put it together because I really want to launch it. It's been a little hard to get people because with what's going on. But I think when it happens, it's going to be amazing.
It sounds it, yeah.
You know, it's so fun, it's so lovely, and so exciting. And that's you know what it's all about. Keeps me going.
That's right. Absolutely.
Those things.
Through thick and thin. That's right. That's a good way to live and a good way to be. And I love thinking that way and operating that way myself. And that makes me think of somebody that we both know mutually. His first name is Mark, who wrote the theme to a beloved children's series. I think it goes back to the 60s, 70s.
Tra-la-la song.
Banana Splits theme.
That's right.
Tra-la-la. That's right. Yeah.
La-la-la-la-la-la. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he passed away.
You've done some work with him, didn't you?
A lot, yes. We had a show called Triangle together.
Yeah.
And we were trying to resurrect a show of a woman that passed away, and I was trying to write the book for it. And then I think it was 3 days ago when he passed away.
He marked it, yeah.
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 Yeah. He wrote for Elvis and Leslie Gore.
It was amazing. And it's fortunate because right now during this time, there's been so many that have passed away. Terrence McNally, the wonderful playwright. And you can't really have big memorials right now because of the pandemic, because of the virus. You
I know.
Have the outpouring of hundreds of people in love. You just have to do it with the close.
Yeah.
You were mentioning that you've been touched by some of this with people in the art community and even within your own family.
Yes, I lost an aunt. Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
It's really an extraordinary situation, but again, you're a true delight, Joy. We always have so much fun when we are together. And
I know.
Jerry, of course, we have so many laughs. I want to toast you. Do you have your beverage? Do you have a beverage near you? Oh, yes. Good. You got the memo, the beverage. Grab a beverage. Let's chat and have some fun is what we say on Jim Masters Live. What is your beverage of choice this evening?
It is chocolate wine.
Chocolate wine.
Yes.
Makes you divine.
That's right. A special place makes it, and they're fabulous.
I see how far we can reach you without spilling it on our computer keyboards. That's it. You don't want to spill any of this, right? Goes this way. Yeah. So how do you like the George Burns sidekick, huh? Pretty cool.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I also love that Rain is going to be on.
Rain's going to be here. Dan Goggin, you know Dan Goggin, right? From Nonsense. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
He's going to be on as well. I wanted to pop up we got some comments here. And I always like to bring in a very interactive, as you know, I like to be interactive on television and radio and everything. Let's see what we've got here. Let's show from the beginning. Okay, we've got Bonnie Share, how cool, break a leg. And let's see, and Martha Oliver Swartz, she's a dear, dear person. I love her. Hello, Martha. She says, hello, everyone. And we also have, hi, June, welcome aboard the Jim train. You hopped on several years ago, didn't you? And I'm glad you didn't get off. You like being on the Jim train, June?
Yeah. And I see Austin there.
Yeah, I see. Let's see. We got Kathy Sharp Stanley says hello. And
yep.
she
She was in Belle Claire.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Kathy, tell her your friends. We're here every night at 7 p.m. on Jim Masters Live. Ken is a loyal follower of the program. We say hello to Ken. Karen Ayani, who lives in Pittsburgh, is a wonderful person. She's here as well. Yeah, you keep sipping. I'll read the comments.
Okay.
Martha is here again. Ken, good evening. Everybody's sort of becoming friends of everybody. What's in the glass, Jim? Got a little Zinfandel. And June has some chocolate wine. My God, this is a baby present. George Burns didn't last long, a baby present. And we've got new comments coming in here as well. Oh, some people are liking that chocolate wine. Let's see what we've got here. Ken says hello to Martha.
Oh, and there, Edward just said hello to me. Hi, Edward.
Hello, Edward. Good to have you here.
And Bart.
You see
Hi, Bart.
I got to catch up. Sharon Beth is here. Lieberman Wallace, she's a beautiful, beautiful soul. She's here. Marianne Kelly, who I interviewed on Close Up Radio. She's an extraordinary individual. She's here as well. And Martha says to Sharon Beth, good evening, Sharon. We got a whole host of regulars here. Hi, Jim. She's drinking her raspberry iced tea. She says, salute. The other night I had Pinot Grigio. She said the Pinot Grigio topped her raspberry iced tea. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, boy, there's a lot of people commenting. This is awesome. Love you to see you here. Look at the
I want Bart's watching because I told him all about what this.
Oh, awesome. Hello to Bart.
He's right there.
Got to connect with you too. Marianne, happy Tuesday, Marianne. And Sharon Beth says, good evening. Martha Oliver Swartz. And Martha says, loved George Carlin, amazing talent. We talked about some of those great birthdays. Sharon loved him as well. Let's see, Austin Greenfield says, George Carlin was so funny. Absolutely, I agree. Karen Ayani, such great music. We're talking about, of course, Perry Como.
Oh, yeah.
Christine Fairwood. Should have stood in bed. We'll find out about that. And Yogi Berra was an icon. Loved his Yogiisms. Absolutely. When you see a fork in the road, take it. You got to his house. Of course, talking about Yogi.
Miss Allison, the woman I wrote Weedle with is right there. Allison Brewster. Woohoo!
Hey, Weedle with 5 times fast. Not so easy, right? One of my favorite actresses. Have so many books about her. Of course, we're talking about Katharine Hepburn. We featured to her earlier. Favorite actress. She lived on Blue Hills Avenue in Hartford. That's right. We have a lot of connections to Hartford. On Golden Pond, classic movie from Austin. We've got Austin Greenfield. It was one of her favorites. That was a great movie. Let's see. It was a barber outside PGH. Wow, I didn't realize that. And absolutely Martha. My sister Lori, heart. She's loving it as well. Austin loved it. Robert Reed and the Brady Bunch loved that show.
Oh my goodness!
We got a lot of action here.
My friend Robert Lloyd Reisman.
Is here?
He just signed.
Woo! There's so many comments. I'm trying to keep up. Karen says, hi, Mike. And Mike Ferranti says, hi, Jim. Used to love to hear Florence sing God Bless America. Every Indianapolis 500 race. Yeah, she was absolutely amazing. Of course, the Indy 500. True. And Martha, hello, June. Good to have you on here. You're part of the mix here on Jim Masters Live. Let's see. Hyman says, yes, June. Hello, Eva. And Kathy Stanley, yay, the Hotel Belle Claire. Kathleen Walker, from New York City. Hi there. Sharon, so interesting. She's loving the interview and conversation. Austin says, this is a great interview with June Rachelson Ospa. And so informational or totally love it. Isn't this great?
Allison said to play some songs.
Jim is such a skilled interviewer. Wow, this is a great dual compliment here. Jim is such a skilled interviewer. June is a great guest. Absolutely. I really wanted some special people the first week of our interviews here. Again, this is our second week of the series, first week of the interviews. You were doing marvelous in the voice of Billy Crystal with your shows. Thank you very much, Martha. We love the interaction with the guests and co-hosts. Let's see more. Kathy says, yum, chocolate wine. Everybody's voting for your chocolate wine.
I know.
There's chocolate wine.
You can get it at Horton Wineries. HORTON.
We'll have to have him as a sponsor.
Yes.
Christopher Joseph Music says, great interview with June. And David William Smith, who used to work for ESPN and public television and iHeartRadio, dear friend of mine. I haven't seen it in the store, but haven't tried it. Let's see who else. Edward Johnson mentioned. Love you, June.
Jordan. That's Bollywood and Vine.
Like Jordan. Hard Shadow.
Also, just so you know, Susan went to school with me since we're little girls.
June is wonderful.
Yep.
Yum yum with the wines we're having. Let's see. Great show, guys. Thank Bart. I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate that. And let's see. My sister says, Mom is asking me what's in your glass. Of course, you know how Mom is. She wants it to be iced tea or lemonade, not wine. Mom, I tell you, she's funny. Hello to June sends you love. Say hello to Mom and Sis in Florida, June.
Hi.
They love you. They've always heard so much about you. Great show, Allison Brewster, Franzetti. What a great name. Great show. Thank you very much. Thanks for the shout out, June. Yes. Oh my God, I can't keep up here. This is awesome. All this love. Yogiisms, Christine Fairwood. I want to try to get as many people in here because they're taking time to type. Hi, Jim. Allison, hello to you too. We got smiley faces. We've got Robert Lloyd Weissman. Hey, June, it's Rob Weissman. Great to see you. That's awesome. Awesome. Play some songs. I'll have to have you come back so you can do that. Yeah. Let's see. Susan Gordon. Jingaro. Yep. Hi, June. Great interview. Thank you, June. Thank you, Susan. This is funny. Tiffany Lauren, a brilliant violinist and dear friend of mine. She says hello. Hello, Tiffany, in Chicago, Illinois, USA. Scotch here. Allison's having scotch.
Here's to you, Allison.
Cheers to you. Let's see. We've got Tiffany again. Jim is a wonderful friend and personality. I enjoy your master's mantras. Thank you very much, Tiffany. I appreciate that. A lot of people say that, and I post them on YouTube at Jim Masters TV as well. And Sharon Beth, I love being able to see you, Jim. Nice to meet you, June.
Nice to meet you.
And also we have here Allison Brewster from City back. Looking forward to working on the rest of BTC.
Behind the curtain with Lane Bradbury. Remember we met Lane?
That's awesome. So that, Julie. Isn't that great? Isn't that awesome? A lot of love there from our friends and from so many people, June. Yeah. How does that make you feel that all these people are watching and loving it? And I love it. I just launched this a week ago, and we had a whole week. I think you watched. Remember when I was posting all the toys, the kaleidoscope? Yeah. We did a whole childhood retro, and just really thoroughly enjoyed doing this because, again, this is what I do.
I think it's really wonderful to bring people together this way. It's awesome.
And you've known me for a long time. I'm like you. I'm the real deal. What you see here is, the real Jim. I'm not putting anything on. It's who I am, just like it's who you are, right?
Yep, we are.
and that, authenticity is a good thing. So, so what are you working on?
We met when we went to that reading. What was that reading? We were out there. David Friedman.
Oh, our dear friend David Friedman.
We were doing a reading, and that's how I met you.
Yeah, I got to get him too. Kathleen says, hey, Paul. Got some more great comments. Doug DeVita.
Yeah, Doug DeVita is working on the show with us.
That is awesome. That is fantastic. So, yeah. So, how's the better half? Jerry, how's he doing?
He's doing okay. He's hanging in.
He's hanging in?
Yeah. And he's the cook. He cooks.
That's right. He does. That's right. Yeah. What was on tonight's menu?
He made a pork roast with fried rice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
That is
you started to ask me what if I just finished something with a guy named David Ogren, and he wrote The Wild Women of Wango, and we just were submitting a 15-minute musical called writer's block.
Mm,
And it's kind of like appropriate to write about writer's block during these times.
absolutely. Real quickly, I'm a writer too, and I know how that goes sometimes with you could have it happen either way, where the block comes in the beginning sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
where you don't know how to begin it, or it can be also at the end when you're not sure if the ending is the ending. You keep going back to it and thinking you can improve on that. So when do you know when to put a period on the end of the last word of the last sentence and then be able to comfortably, not that you don't rewrite and do other stuff, but when you know it's finished, when do you know it's finished?
Okay, so when I used to work with Doc, he used to say, and this is what I do, he said, don't go back. Write your first draft all the way through. Let it sit, right? Then put it out there, take a look at it, have some friends read it or whatever.
Right.
Live with it. And then you'll know. But usually when I finish a play, I just let it sit for a few days because I really have to go. I have to look at it with fresh eyes.
You walk away and then come back.
Yes.
Do you, I was mentioning when I was on with Reno Venturi, my dear friend, last night, the acting coach, and
I saw him a little bit.
Yeah, one thing that we talked about was liking our own work when we had first did it. Meaning that, like, for example, whenever I do something on television or if something's videoed on stage or a radio show or whatever I do, if I see it re-air or I hear it air, usually I'm my own worst critic, as Reno said he is too.
Yes.
I'm accepting it. Everybody might have said, "Wow, Jim, you were awesome. That was terrific. You were spot on. We loved it. You nailed it." And I'm hearing that, but I'm not really absorbing it because this emotional investment I've made in whatever it is I'm doing. And all cylinders are firing. I know everybody says, "Jim, you always make everything look so easy and comfortable and calm." And that's a good deal of my personality, as you know. But inside, thinking adrenaline, it's like a sport. Everything is firing. Is on high alert. Everything's exciting.
Absolutely.
When I first see something that I've done, I usually don't like it at all. I need to walk away from it. Like, I can pull out tapes of things I did years ago and watch it now and say, like I told Reno last night, under those conditions, with that level of experience, with all the craziness that went on, they were kind of right. I mean, that was pretty darn good. I just didn't absorb it then because you're seeing, when you're doing something, you're seeing it out of your eyes, your perspective, vision. And now you're seeing it reversed, airing on TV or in the movies or on stage, or you're hearing it and you're seeing it as everybody else is seeing it. Yes. So you're going to be ultra critical of your work.
Of course.
And I'll pull out stuff I did 10, 15 years ago, whatever it is, and I will like it more now than then, even though everybody else liked it. That happened to you too?
Yes. Yeah. You have time to actually distance yourself enough. And I also read something once that was so fabulous. Stephen King wrote a book called On Writing, and people said, "How do you write? How do you make these things?" He says, "Well, I imagine a blank page, and I cut a hole, and I jump through the page down, and I land, and I look around, and I write about what I see."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God, that's what I do."
Right.
And it so helps if you just allow yourself to be the observer of what it is you're saying and not be thrown. Because I wrote a thing that's pretty dark. It's called Jekyll and Hyde, about Henry Jekyll as a 13-year-old schizophrenic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually 15 now. I aged him up. But he does something. He hits somebody with a horse whip, to hurt him. And I took that away and I read it a few days later and I went, "You wrote that?" just, because I was in such an altered state.
You were all in, right? You were all in.
You just have to let yourself be there with it.
Yeah.
And then it makes it real.
A friend of mine used to wake up 2 o'clock in the morning when his house, he was probably in his early 20s, and he would wake up out of a deep sleep, and he was the most creative at night when everybody, his parents, his sister, when the house was quiet and the house was still and dark, he was at his most creative at night. He would almost sometimes wake up out of dreams and start typing the dreams quickly.
Yes.
And some of this stuff turned into, great pieces of work. You do that too sometimes? Are you inspired in those quiet?
Yes, I'll wake up. I'll be having a dream, and I'll wake up and I'll get up and start writing down what I wrote, because it's important, because you don't remember it the same when you wake up.
Yeah.
So,
I think one of the things that you and I are too we are observers of life. We soak it all in, and that's reflected in our way of being, but also in our work. Mine on the air and television, radio, and on stage, and yours through your body of work too. The work we do is a reflection of who we are. It's in our DNA, but also it's observing and almost like a commentary on life.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like there's us, and then there's us looking at us, looking at it.
Yes.
It is
right. We're looking like we're over top, on a helicopter, observing it, and then we sort of try to size it up with some humor, some levity. We get some more
story.
And tell the story, exactly. Some more comments coming up here. Let's see. From Bart, June is called the mayor.
That's what my friends are calling me, yes.
Great tip for writing. Thank you. Christopher says that as well. So,
great.
Good stuff, right? Good stuff from everybody.
Yeah.
Feedback. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So, how did you like being? We talked about being together and having you as a guest on my show. Again, you were on the first week of guests, and I wanted to have you on in the first week, June, because you mean so much to me. You're a dear, dear friend, and you're so creative. And love you a lot, and just got this wonderful automatic when we're together. It's just an automatic pilot situation that we can't even. It's like we've known each other since we were kids or something, And you're lucky when you have that in life, right?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about, we really should do what we were talking about when we first met.
Yes.
Is have our show.
Yeah, you could do all kinds of things.
The entertainment show.
Jerry, your other half there, he's hiding out on the side, right?
No, actually, he's not. He's in the other room.
Watching. And Nikki Bartlett says hi, June. Nikki Bartlett.
Oh, wow. Hi, Nikki. Hi.
How are you? Well, I want to toast you, and of course, George and Jeannie, we all want to toast you here. I tell you, I was going to do 1-hour shows, and these turned into like extravaganzas here. My dear friend, playwright, lyricist, and all-around wonderful person, writer, author, June Rachelson Ospa. To you.
Same to you. And everybody out there.
All these fabulous people that are watching us from all over the United States, Canada. We have people that are watching from Australia and Europe and beyond. Really cool stuff. So cheers to you, June. We will go out together once this all calms down, hopefully, God willing, with the pandemic, and we'll get together and create some more, and we will have lunch and maybe a big hug, but we won't tell anybody. That's gonna be hard. It's gonna be so hard to not hug each other.
No. Well, we can invent like gloves that cover the whole body. A body glove.
Isn't that already out there? Or that's a whole other
that's people can see this like on YouTube that missed it.
Yeah. So I encourage everybody to like the Jim Masters TV page, which is the page many people are watching it on right now. I'd love it if you can give the page a like, share the page, because this show is every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We have great guests. We have a whole host of really cool segments that we do, and a lot of fun and levity. And I'm interested in, just connecting with everybody. I'm very interactive with the viewers, and it's Jim Masters TV. It's also on YouTube, streaming worldwide on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. Love it if everybody could subscribe, get more people in, have watch parties. You know, I'm a big believer, as you know, in supporting each other, networking, supporting, lifting other people up. So, you know, this is something I've done for years, you know, in professional life, but I love doing it here with all of you. Let's see, we've got some more comments here coming in. Wow. Let's see, we've got.
I want you to be Marilyn again.
June, going to Maryland again. And I'll join you. That'll be terrific, Allison. You can join us. Yeah. And my sister Lori. Nice interview with June. That's my sister Lori. Loving
it.
In Florida. June crushed it. Great interview. Thank you very much, Ken. We appreciate that. Good to see you. Well, June, a virtual kiss, a virtual hug. I can feel it.
Hugging all our friends out there too.
All the friends. We appreciate all these beautiful people. And thanks for also being a supporter of the show and watching and telling people about it, June. I really appreciate you doing that as well. That means a great deal. And again, you and I will be, you know, probably texting in 10 minutes from now, or as we usually do. But thanks for hopping on and joining us here at Jim Masters Live. We really appreciate it. Sharon Beth says, thanks all. Martha Oliver Swartz says, bye, June. Everybody's saying goodbye. We will see you again. Love to everybody. We will see you guys again. And I love you, June.
You too. I love you, Jim.
You take care. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. To my dear friend, June. We'll see you again. Wow. Isn't that fantastic? I tell you, I'm blessed to have a wonderful family and dear friends. And it's really important when you get a chance to have dear friends. And I love sharing them with you too. And we just have a great time. George, what'd you think? Did you enjoy that? And Jeannie too, as well. This is Jim Masters. I tell you, we're having so much fun here. And I wanted to show you a couple of things. A couple of people asked me about, see if I can find this here for you. A couple of people asked me about this image here, because I use that when we do the promotional blasts on Jim Masters TV and on YouTube. And people are like, my God, that's a cool photo. What did you sort of Photoshop yourself in there? That's really cool. You know where that is? That's actually at the Facebook headquarters in California. A dear friend of mine who's a change agent, sort of a consultant. He goes into companies and he works with the staff on all the swift change that they have to do, especially in the world of technology. And I got an opportunity to be invited to go to Facebook about a year or so ago when I was actually on a totally unrelated television shoot. And we got to have lunch and tour Facebook, and really is an amazing place. So that's actually at Facebook, and it's in this incredible tunnel of light and color, and you can pick up all these different symbols and slogans and fun things. So I picked up the F for Facebook, and there's the thumbs up sign, which I give all of you thumbs up. And then they've got this really cool wall there too, the Facebook wall, what's on your mind. And everybody that gets to be invited, the place is like a fortress. You have to have a reason to go into Facebook. So I knew somebody that had a contract working with the staff at Facebook, and really cool place. So you get to autograph the wall. And of course, then you put your Facebook address, whatever it is, on the wall. And that was really, really cool. And Facebook, again, it's really a fantastic place. And it was really an honor to go there. They're in Menlo Park, California, and it really was just absolutely awesome. And speaking of awesome, you guys are awesome. I really tell you, it's such a blessing to have you here and to share all of this fun that we've been sharing together. We're going to be back tomorrow night, and as I mentioned, we've got a very special guest as well. All special guests: Reno Venturi last night, June Rachelson Ospa tonight, and tomorrow, Dan Goggin, the legendary producer, director, writer, creator of the extraordinary Broadway play Nonsense, the hilarious Broadway play Nonsense. He's a dear friend as well. He's all excited about coming on, and he's on week number 2, this second week of our series. And I can't wait to welcome him 7 p.m. tomorrow night as well. And then on Thursday, another dear friend, June had mentioned as well, Rain Pryor Vane is going to be on the show. Rain Pryor, the daughter of the legendary comedian Richard Pryor. She has her own career in her own right, and she is one of the most beautiful souls inside and out. She's hysterically funny and witty, quick-witted. She's caring, she's empathetic, she's compassionate. She's also running for city office in Baltimore, Maryland. That's right, city council. She's currently running. So we're going to talk about her political career as well. I don't know if you knew that she is running for office in Baltimore, Maryland, where she and her husband and daughter Lotus reside. And, we wish her all the best with that campaign. So we're going to talk about that and so much more. Has this been a blast or what? Have you enjoyed it? I think there's a couple more comments. I mean, so many comments coming in. Thank you, guys. We appreciate all of this. And Martha Oliver Swartz says, talk to you tomorrow, Jim. Yes, you and I will be chatting about some cool things we're going to do. Thanks, Jim and June. You are very, very welcome, Christine. We appreciate it. And Martha says, oh, can't wait each night. Always set my alarm so I don't miss your shows. Love you, Martha. Thank you very much. Spread the word as well. And of course, your great son, James F. Taylor Jr., does his show at 6, and he's a fantastic musician. And we have, let's see, Ken says, love these shows. I tell you, we put this together in like a week and 2 days time. Not bad, huh? Not too shabby. Just taking some of my television background and applying it as best as I can to the home studio, as we call it. And Christopher here, who's also a performer on the New Love Express, Toledo, Ohio. Great photo image, talking about, I think, that Facebook photo as well. Well, guys, I don't want to keep you too much because I know, that you are here and you probably got a lot of other things you might be doing. You might even be missing a Netflix movie or something. Love you all. George says a very pleasant good evening. We've got to have George say his good evening to you. There he is, George Burns. And of course, Jeannie as well. I tell you, we got to get her to come out of the bottle. She's been shy. She doesn't like the way her hair's coming out lately because all the hair salons have been closed. You doing okay in there, Jeannie? Yes, Master. Thank you very much, Jeannie. You can just lay low. We'll have you come back out after everybody says sayonara. One thing, I cannot go without doing what I like to do at the end of the show, which was the wrap of the show. Let's see what we've got here. More comments. Oh, my God. Always good to see you, Kathleen. You as well. I wish we were over at Citi Field watching a Met game. Hopefully one day soon. She works for the one of the vendors with the New York Mets. She's a beautiful person. By George and Jeannie, too. Yes, they say good night. And let's see. Sharon Beth, love you, Jim. Thanks for inviting us. It is my pleasure. Always my pleasure, everybody, to have you here. I get so excited when I do these shows. Don't forget to relax. Breathe, 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 breathe. Let's see. Bart comes in as well. And Bart says, a great interview style. Big fan. Thank you, Bart. I really appreciate that. It's what I do for a living, and just wanted to share it with everybody on social media. And then somebody incredibly important to my life, my godson and nephew, Dom. Awesome show, Uncle Jim. Love that. Love that. This is one cool cat, Dom. Dom is building, well, I won't say too much because it's going to be a big reveal. He's really intelligent, and he's got a heart of gold. He's my nephew and godson. And he is building this extraordinary platform that's going to shake things up. And, in the computer world, we're just in technology and probably enhance all our lives. I'll keep you posted on that. He's very excited. The whole family is too. And he's put his heart and soul in this. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, locking himself in a room. He loves computers. He loves technology and advertising and so much more. He's a really great, great nephew and godson. Here I say to everybody, as I always like to say during the show, breathe and relax. And again, there is that scene from the 1920s you got there, Newport, Rhode Island. We picked this up a few years ago in Newport, Rhode Island. Really cool just to have this. And it's so apropos, so perfect for this time right now, right? Relax, breathe. I know there's a lot of heavy stuff that's happening right now. I work in the media, so I see it all the time. I have friends who are journalists, as I am as well, and it can be very tough, very difficult. Some of the stuff you witness, some of the stuff you see. as I say to everybody on and off the air, what we're going through, I think the only people that could have dreamed something like this up would be Steven Spielberg or Stephen King with, the pandemic and all. But one of the things to do is to breathe and relax and cherish your loved ones and your friends. And the fact that we are all here, you're here, I'm here, all these fantastic people that are commenting and watching right now are here and still here. I say this every night. It's really important to cherish the blessings, the little things. If you hear birds chirping, it may sound a little Pollyanna, but hey, I tell you, the alternative to not hearing birds chirping is not anything that I'm interested in. So let those birds chirp and the ocean tides come in and the sun set, and call your family and stay close to everybody and love one another. Very important, absolutely essential things in life. And you guys are just amazing. I really appreciate you being here. This is week number 2 of the Jim Masters Live series. Again, I invite you to go to YouTube. And if you have a channel on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to mine. I will subscribe to yours as well. I'm on Instagram at Jim Masters TV. I'm on Twitter at Jim Masters TV. Right here on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Feel free to chime in. Let's see, Austin Greenfield says, keep calm and watch Jim Masters Live. I love this support. Thank you very much, Austin. That's very nice of you to say. So I tell you, we're supposed to only do this for an hour, and we're going on for an hour and 20 minutes here. Oh my God, I should have prepared a whole meal for you guys. Thanks, everybody. We're going to wrap things up so you can go about your business. We'll be back tomorrow with a whole new show live right here with Jim Masters Live, coming to you from the beautiful home studio. It's always a blessing having you here, and I wish you and yours a wonderful night. Thanks to my very special guest, playwright, lyricist, writer, author, and dear friend, June Rachelson Ospa. Again, stay strong, everybody. Relax, keep calm. We'll get through this together. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Spread the word. Let's have some watch parties. Like, share, YouTube, Jim Masters TV, Facebook, the whole kit and caboodle. You know what to do. Love you guys. Stay with it. We have many more shows coming up. And as long as you're there, I will be here as well. And that's what it's all about. It's all of us being here together. Boy, all these people still watching. I hate to even say goodbye. I'm not a good goodbye person, as you can tell. All right. So again, we said all those wishes to Kim Fields, George Carlin, Perry Como, Robert Reed, and Katharine Hepburn, all their birthdays. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. One other thing before I go. If you have anniversaries, if you have birthdays, if you have things coming up where you would like me to do a shout out on Jim Masters Live, you can send me a message at right here at Facebook. Feel free to send me a message. You can also do it at YouTube, or you can send me a message at jimmasterstv@gmail.com. All right. You guys have a good night. It's a pleasure having you with us. Love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Jim Masters Live. Good night.